The college basketball season in 2022 is going to look different than it has for about 3 decades. No Coach K at Duke, no Bill Self at Kansas to open the season, though he will be back at some point amid scandal. Joining me now to talk about the big storylines as college basketball gets back underway, Isaac Schade from Locked On College Basketball, a podcast we would love for you to subscribe to and check out. Isaac, what are the big storylines that you have your eye on here the first couple weeks?
Well, you just hit on a big part of it there, Peter, is, man, we've got some big turnover at some big blue blood programs. Obviously, last year we had Hubert Davis taking over for Roy Williams at North Carolina. Now we've got John Shire stepping in for Coach K. And let's not forget, Jay Wright is now retired at Villanova. We've got Kyle Neptune coming in there. And so, man, that is a big storyline, is now who are the patriarchs, the regents of college basketball? Is it Mark Few? Is it Bill Self when he's back in Kansas? You know, we're going to see a lot of these cases are coming down. Louisville just got off pretty much scot-free. I'm rushing out to hire Rick Pitino if I am any AD in need of a new head coach right now. So yeah, a lot of interesting things going on in the head coaching realm. In terms of players, the big storyline is what NIL has done to keep a lot of the best players in college basketball. You could very easily this season have a first-team All-American made up of entirely traditional bigs. Why? Because the NBA don't want them, but NCAA loves them. So you've got returning National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe. You've got another candidate for that up at Gonzaga in Drew Timme, who's coming back. Armando Bacot at North Carolina, you know, just made a name for himself. First player in NCAA history with 6 double-doubles in the NCAA tournament. You've got Hunter Dickinson at Michigan, Trayce Jackson-Davis at Indiana, and the list goes on.
How do you see this playing out over time? Because it feels very weird to go into a college basketball season and have like the top 3 or 4 maybe NBA prospects not be in college basketball. First and foremost, Victor Wembanyama, who is playing in Europe, and then Scoot Henderson. It is a weird thing to be happening, but we've always said with the one and done problem that such that you think it's a problem, right? Is that you're not getting the same sort of storylines. The Drew Timmes are fewer and far between. If name and likeness allows players to stay in college, maybe we're actually going to get better play in college basketball tournaments, better familiarity with these players. Like what are the pros, big pros and cons that you see here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pros are what you just hit on there, Peter, is that you do know the names coming back more consistently because the money, quite frankly, for these guys who aren't going to be high lottery picks or even first round picks, the money is better in college because of name, image, and likeness. Now, the con is very clearly that the NCAA has drugged their feet on this whole thing for years and only came into it kicking and screaming because states like California, like through legal matters, through using law, said, hey, we as a state are coming into name, image, and likeness. We're going to allow our colleges and universities to do it. And if you don't like it, then you're going to have to kick them out or not allow them to participate in NCAA tournaments and things like that. And I don't think you want that because you think of all the California schools that would leave out. And so the con is that the NCAA, once again, has completely bungled this whole thing. And so now it leaves us all wondering, like, how on earth can we start to, like, put the toothpaste back in the tube and get some rules and regulations around NIL so that it's not just the wild, wild west. But, man, it is so great to have so many of the biggest names saying, I'm going to come back. Even some of those who would have been high draft picks because the money is so good and so relevant.